how to create and use a personalized LinkedIn message assistant in LaunchLemonade. And essentially, this is a tool that we use when you have maybe connected with a new prospect and you want to create a personalized message to send them, to pitch your services, or just to introduce yourself. So this is what the tool looks like when it's actually been built. But what we're going to do is go into the back end and show you how to make it. So the first option is to choose a language model, and typically OpenAI GPT-4 is great for most things, and this could also be built with that and a couple of the other language models, but we're going to actually choose Claude because I find that it gives a more human sounding message at the other end. The next thing we're going to do is formulate a welcome message. This is basically just a greeting once you first enter the tool. It will essentially guide you on how to use the tool. So mine says, hello, first name. Tell me about your lead. Share more information about their profile. You can copy and paste their LinkedIn profile or previous posts here, and we will draft a message that will resonate with them. Also specify if this is a first message or a follow-up, and I can help you respond to their messages as well. I only ever use this tool at first messages, but it can also be used to craft follow-ups, and yeah, it can be just as valuable in that. The next part is instructions. This is the most important part. This is where you tell the tool exactly what you want it to do, and this will affect the output most, essentially. So I've kept it super simple, but you can really get as complex and as granular as you want to craft the most tailored message on the other end. So I have said you are a business development strategist, excellent at crafting cold email outreach for virotechuk.com. That is our agency. I always use the domain because there are multiple Virotechs in the world, and there might be multiple companies with the same name as yours, so it's useful to use your actual domain. I give a little snippet about the company and what we do. I'm going to go into that. It's on our website if you want to check it out. But essentially 3 sentences, just because this will once again formulate the pitch part of your message. And then the most important part, your task is to analyze the profile of the sales lead, utilize the information given to write the punchiest cold outreach message that resonates with the lead, include a PS note at the end that references their most recent post. I find this is super important because it makes the conversation a lot more human, and it also will pull something very specific about from their LinkedIn page and their LinkedIn post that makes it seem like you've actually been following their content, which is obviously super important because all of these prospects want to feel like you know them very well before you reach out to them. I also said to reference recent hiring activity because as an agency, we're always looking to speak with companies that are actively hiring new salespeople. We're constantly contacting sales prospects. So this could be true of you with whichever prospect or audience that you're looking at. We also then add a tone of voice, and I always use Karen Brady. She is one of the most influential women in business in the world. Most of you might know her as Alan Sugar's sidekick on The Apprentice, but she has a very direct but down-to-earth tone, and that is exactly how I speak. And what I want to mimic is as much how I speak as possible. So you can use somebody else, you can use Stephen Bartlett, you can use Alan Sugar, you can use people that you have more personality, more comedy, whatever it is, and you can play around with that actually to see what returns you get on the other side. Then the very last thing that we do is add the URL of our website or your website here, and the tool will crawl the pages of your website to ascertain as much about what you do as possible so that when you're pitching on the other end, it's as accurate as it can be. You'll then go to the description, give your lemonade a name. I just called it Personalised LinkedIn Message Assistant because it's what it says on the tin, and then give it a description. Just say that it will draft personalised outreach messages for you, simply because when you have all your lemonades in one place, I don't want to get confused about which ones do what. We'll then go into the settings and make sure you remember all conversations because it allows the tools to get better over time. The other 2 you can leave as they are, and we will pretty much skip this email integration section because it's not necessarily relevant for this tool. We'll then go to test, and I have chosen the strategic head of sales at Canva as my prospect of choice, and all I'm going to do is highlight the entire LinkedIn profile from the top all the way down to the bottom. And then what I'll do is stop right after the interests, just to make sure that I'm not picking up information on the sides of the page that are not relevant. And then all I'll do is drop it here. I'll say, write me an intro message and paste. And we'll give the tool a couple minutes to actually read all the information and to actually craft the message, and we'll see what comes out the other side. It's a lot of information for the tool to actually analyze and read. So you always give it a couple minutes. It should never take more really than 3. There we go. And here is our message. So it says, hi Daniela, your recent talk at WomenX Impact about visual communication and brand impact caught my eye. As someone helping companies scale their strategic sales through AI-powered outreach, I was particularly interested in your perspective on intentional branding. At Virotech, we're helping enterprise sales teams like Canvas multiply their impact using AI, while keeping that personal touch that builds real relationships. Would love to show you how we're doing this for other fast-growing tech companies. Quick chat next week, best, and my name. And then the PS there says, really impressed by Canva's partnership with Women in Tech Forum. Our AI tools could help amplify the reach of these important initiatives while your team focuses on building those meaningful connections. I think that's one of the best PSs I've ever seen, actually, on my messages. I think this is a fantastic first message. It's short, it's to the point, but most importantly, it's referencing real life elements of her LinkedIn profile, which I can then go back and actually look into. It says that I've looked at her most recent post or most recent talk. I haven't, but if this conversation was to progress, I can go back and have a look, and it essentially just opens the conversation without me having to spend a load of time on research prior to sending the message. And typically these messages will take 60 seconds per prospect, as opposed to if you was doing the research manually, where it would take 10 minutes per prospect. So you could send 50 of these out in 1 hour. The second tool I'm going to demo for you is our cold call script writer. This is a big time saver for us, because we work with clients and we cold call for clients, and this will allow us to create a customized script based on the company that we're actually going to be speaking with without doing all the prior research. It will still give us an idea, an understanding of the business that we can reference on the call, rather than something that is more generic that we say to everybody. That's important, because when you're on a call with a prospect, once again, they really want to feel like you've done your research, and they will usually test you on the call to make sure you know exactly who they are and what they do. So for this tool that I've called Script Writer, we're going to use OpenAI GPT-4. I find it gives the best output, but once again, there are other options. For the instructions, we'll give another welcome message. It says, hello Kelly, tell me about the company you're going to be calling for so that I can create a great script that you can read on the telephone. Instructions are, you are a cold calling script writer for virotechuk.com. Your job is to develop an outreach script that a salesperson can use on the phone to sell the services of Virotech. Virotech is a sales agency that helps B2B companies to leverage AI in their lead generation to optimize their efforts and get better results. So the task is analyze the profile of Virotech, search the website for the latest news on the company or the value proposition. This is talking about the prospect's website. Utilize the information given to write a message that resonates with the lead and helps them to book a meeting to discuss their lead generation needs. Use a tone that is less formal but authoritative. Once again, with the tone, we've gone for Karen Brady. Less formal because we're on the phone. We want to sound like a human, and authoritative because we essentially want them to book with us. Once again, we add the URL of the website, your own website, and don't worry about adding knowledge. Unless you do have some, you might have a deck or some form of collateral that could be useful to feed the knowledge base. Go ahead and add that if you want to. Where this is extremely useful is if you are creating any collaterals, it doesn't need to be cold calling scripts, anything, but for a client, you can put the client's URL and the client's knowledge in, and the tool will essentially return the output on behalf of the client. So this is something that we've done for our clients, and of them being Orion Finance in the past, and the entire script was pitching Orion Finance rather than Virotech. And it was obviously a super quick and easy way of doing this. When you do the instructions, save and publish, and then move on to the description. I've called it script writer, and the description is it develops great telephone scripts for me. Once again, we will enable the search on on GPT-4. You can do this so that it can actually search the internet, and I will leave the others blank. My instruction is going to be easy. Write me a script to pitch to the CEO of Canva.com. I haven't used any specific names, but you can also use a LinkedIn profile again. And this is essentially what we have. The script will segment into introduction, hook, value proposition, key offer, call to action, and close, which is extremely important because on a call, you might have to pivot on the call and miss out certain parts or elaborate on certain parts. So it just basically helps you to keep structure. The introduction obviously is extremely simple. Hi, this is Kelly from Veritech. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I know your time is precious, so I'll be brief, or you could change that to a question, or I can ask the tool to change that to a question so that we can be more permission-based. The hook is you've built Canva into a powerhouse that enables anyone to design regardless of their skill level. It's truly inspiring. How are you leveraging AI to further enhance your lead generation processes at Canva? So it makes sure that we are actually speaking about what the company does. And when obviously you're calling 500 or 100 or 10 clients or companies, or prospects a day, not going to manually create a script and change that hook every single time. So this is just the quickest way to do that in literally 15 seconds. Value proposition is what our company does, and the offer is what exactly we can do to help them. The call to action, I'd love to explore how we can help Canva amplify your sales efforts while aligning with your mission of empowering users. Are you open to scheduling a quick meeting next week to discuss your lead generation needs and see if there's a fit? And the close is literally once they have agreed to a meeting or haven't, is just what you say after the fact. So this is our cold calling script, first edition. Once again, I could go back in and forth in the box here to make amendments to this and create something that is literally perfect. But this is for us 80% of the way there. We would just add a permission-based question in the beginning.